Hi, welcome to our weekly video, takeaways and things to do for week 9. During the past session, we covered basically two topics. The first one is that we discovered the Blue Ocean strategy. We reviewed the basic components, and after that, we went towards the analysis of the Airbnb case. The Airbnb story is a very interesting story just because it's such a testimony of innovation and breakthrough that gives us clear examples of how to build a blue ocean in industries that are overcrowded. Remembering some of the concepts, what is a blue oceans? First of all, what we understood at the very beginning is that in overcrowded industries, differentiating becomes very hard, both in economic upturns and in downturns. Last session, we talked about differentiation and how to find through innovation that distinctive thing that is going to be making your product a single unit differentiated from the rest of the offerings in the market. But nowadays, in several industries, differentiating becomes a very hard thing to do. It's not as easy as it looks. So that's why we have Kim and Mavon developing this new idea of developing new oceans. A blue ocean is created by finding and developing markets where there is little or no competition. This is a very simple concept. Get away from competition and get into an area where you cannot find any competitor. It is easier to say than to do. However, it is a very powerful concept. A blue ocean can be created in two ways. The first way, in few cases, companies can give rise to completely new industries. That is, in some cases, there is a completely breakthrough of innovation in developing a new product. But most of the times, a blue ocean is created from within a red ocean when a company alters the boundaries of an existing industry. And that's what we're trying to do here. The Airbnb concept was pretty much less as this second type of opportunity to create a blue ocean, since basically they discovered in the hospitality industry, in the hotel industry, a new way to create a new business concept that basically became the creation of a blue ocean. And of course, there are some things that I would like you to remember from blue oceans that are very important for you to understand. The first one is that blue oceans are not technology based. Not always a blue ocean has been created through technology. In the Airbnb case, for example, we have the main concept created out of a business model, not technology itself. They went through technology just after they created the concept. Of course, the web page and booking online is a very important part of the business model. However, it is not the product itself. So be careful, because not all of the time a blue ocean is created out of technology. The second thing to remember, which is very important, is that most blue oceans are created from within a red ocean. That is, you are in a competitive industry and sometimes you can create a breakthrough that is going to get you out of there. We have a very simple example in the 70s when the Japanese automaking cars started to flourish in Japan. Basically, in the 70s, the cars were very big. They have these V8 engines that were very low efficient in fuel consumption, but they were very powerful and big. The big car syndrome was ruling the industry in North America, and of course the Japanese industry became had a way to create a blue ocean just by designing new small cars, fuel efficient, that could be filling the need of a new problem that has been generated on the 70s. That was the oil crisis, and the oil prices went up, and of course there was a need for a new type of vehicle. The Japanese auto industry had the ability to create a new concept, and that was on the 70s. Of course, this can happen here on the 2000s and the 2010s, in which we can find these new business models created out of existing industries, just as Airbnb or Uber, which are making a very good deal of damage to the existing industries. The other thing to consider here is that company and industry are wrong units of analysis for a strategy here. Whenever you want to study blue oceans, you cannot base your decisions in a product or on an industry, because you're going to be trapped on a red ocean. I'm going to tell you this by taking the paradox of strategy concept. There are two ways to conceive a strategy. The first one is based on a philosophical way of understanding business environment as a constant. That is called structuralism. The structuralism thinks of the environment as a fixed set of factors and circumstances that are affecting the business model, and all decisions are based on what's happening on the environment. And if you're gonna be thinking in the environment, you have to think on competition. So whatever new business model that you create on that mindset is gonna be based on what others are doing. How can I do things differently than the other? However, when you think in terms of a blue ocean, you are calling a different philosophical point of view that is called constructivism. And in constructivism, you get rid of the environment, you ignore what others are doing, and start finding ways of creating a business model more based on the actual necessities and needs from your current customers and consumers. And that difference is very important, because you start to think in terms of strategic moves, of the things that you control, on the things that you can do. Remember the SWOT analysis? The SWOT analysis had two components of analyzing a situation. The first two components, the strengths and the opportunities, are internal, and the strength and the weaknesses, and the opportunities and threats are external. So structuralisms view strategy from the point of view of opportunities and threats, and constructivism see strategy from the point of view of the weakness and strengths from the company. So this is a very important thing to understand, because blue oceans are created by thinking constructively, doing things based on your strengths and on your weaknesses, rather than focusing on opportunities and threats. And of course, another thing to remember is that blue oceans are created from managerial action. What does that mean? As I told you, this is a decision made by the creators of the business model, and not by the set of rules that are in the industry. This is pretty much what the blue ocean strategy is. It's a pretty simple wrap-up for the class, but I hope that you find it useful for your test, your quizzes, and of course your project, because this is another tool that you can use in order to develop your business model at the end of the semester. Thank you very much, and see you next Tuesday.